Welcome to the 2025 EMEA webinar series. Um, my name is Ahmed Shaban. I'm the marketing manager for the EMEA region. And today we'll kick off the webinar series with how to understand Royal Caribbean session. But before I start, I just have very, very exciting news for you. And the exciting news that we do have prizes for you at the end of this series of webinars. So what are the prizes? So we are offering one cabin for 2 guests on board the most anticipated Legend of the Seas on board the inaugural event, which is going to be in 2026. And we also have 3 prizes, agency prizes, which we're going to get branded cupcakes being delivered to their office. So what do you need to do to actually have a chance to win one of these prizes? You need to attend all 10 webinar sessions that are going to be part of this webinar series. Then what we're going to do is I will actually do a raffle, and we're going to be picking up winners from those who will be attending the 10 sessions. So you know what you need to do. You need to make sure that you attend all the sessions, and yeah, wishing you all the best. And I'm sure, apart also from the prizes, you will know and learn a lot about Royal Caribbean. Amazing. So let's kick it off with knowing or understanding more about Royal Caribbean. We have a very busy agenda today. We have a lot of things to go through. We will talk about a little bit about why Royal Caribbean, why we stand out versus other brand names in the market, our brand values, our ships, a little bit about our brand guidelines, and how to get access to all our marketing assets, and what platforms do we have for you so that you can have access to all this material that we create. Cool. So Royal Caribbean, I'm sure a lot of you know Royal Caribbean very well, but I mean, I have to say one thing, years and years ago when I joined Royal Caribbean, one thing that stood out the most for me during the first week is actually how Royal Caribbean is always striving to be the best brands in the market. And when I say the best, is the best across different areas. Royal Caribbean is always trying to kind of come up with new things, new innovations, new ideas, making sure that it's bringing the best experience on board and shoreside. So this is really, really important, because this is actually what keeps Royal Caribbean standing out against the competition in the market. Plus the amazing ships that we are building and we do have in our fleet. So beside that, Royal Caribbean is also a global award-winning brand. I'll just take you through very quickly through some of the latest accolades that we have under our belt. So we have, for 22 years running, we've been voted the best cruise line overall. Icon of the Seas voted best new ship. The year before it was actually Wonder. Always, when we are building new ships, they are award-winning ships. We've been voted for 8 years consecutively the best entertainment. Of course, Perfect Day, 5 years running best private islands, 17 years running best sales and service, and 22 years running best cruise line in the Caribbean. And there are other accolades that we have been winning. So yeah, Royal Caribbean definitely not only providing the best experience and the best holidays, but also award-winning brand as well. So a little bit about our brand values. Um, so what is it really that make up the brand? What are our core beliefs and what is like guiding us through all these things and all these like amazing holidays that we deliver? So the most important thing is our ambition. Like I mentioned just now, Royal Caribbean is always dreaming big. It never like we never settle. It's like always like when I was talking about like when I joined the brand years and years ago, it was like when we deliver something, as soon as we deliver something, and even before we deliver it, we are already thinking of what's coming and what are the new things that we can do and what possible things we can bring on board. So it's very much about like kind of like providing this experience, innovation, and boldness and discovery. And then it's all about kind of like delivering quality. And we're not cutting corners anywhere. Like I mentioned, we never settle with what we have. We're always thinking ahead. And all this is being delivered with guidance with our moral compass. So the brand Royal Caribbean is very much a brand that is like with arms wide open. We are a very warm brand. We are kindness. We are accepting. So it's very much about kind of like making sure that our guests are kind of like experiencing the brand at its best. And we are very much always doing the right thing. So it's very much about integrity, honesty, respect, and safety as well. Then our mission as a brand, and the brand very much Royal Caribbean is very much about inspiring adventure. We believe that life is best lived when filled with as much adventure as possible. Our brand is about adventure. It's about like kind of like experiencing new places, experiencing like new food, new cultures, making sure that you integrate with locals, having the best time on board, having like and when on board, it's not only kind of like um, adventures, but it's also like relaxation, having downtime. It's the dining experiences, the entertainment experience. So it's the whole package. It's this kind of vibes that Royal Caribbean bring, or like our guests the experience when on board our ships. So this is, yeah, it's very much we inspire adventure. This is very much our mission as a brand. And then when we are looking at who's our guest, because I get asked a lot about actually, okay, who's your guest? Who's like what age or what age group do you usually target? But I mean, it's not very much about the age. I think it's very much about the attitude. It's about the mindset. We are always kind of like our like target audience are those who are like um, 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 always looking for experience and adventure and new things. Is those that they are open-minded, that they want to go like new places, they want to experience like new food, they want to like meet new people, like see new cultures. This is very much about kind of like our target key audience. It's about, like I mentioned, it's the mindset rather than the age group. It could be singles, it could be like families, it could be like parents, it could be like grandparents. So it's literally anyone with this open like mind, and this attitude that they want to like seek adventures. And when I say adventures, again, adventures could be a lot of things. It could be kind of like very fast-paced things to do. It could be things that has to do with dining experience. It could be something that has to do somebody like they want relaxation, sun and beach and all that. So it is literally just touching across a lot of areas with our guests and target audience. So again, it's very much about the mindset and attitude rather than the age. And then when we look at the brand pyramid heroes, kind of like what is really like our brand? If you kind of like break down our brand into like different categories, like different, I would say like stories, what would make up our brand? So if we look at the foundation of our brand, this is like the attributes, our characteristics. Like I mentioned, we are best in class. We do have best in class ships. We are warm, attentive service. Um, we are offering amazing experience on board our ships and at our perfect day or like private destination collection, and we are providing quality. Then if we move up to the next one, which is the functional benefit, this is very much about like the adventurous vacations combined with remarkable quality. And then when we look at the emotional benefit, this is what we deliver, is the emotional benefit that we deliver to our guests, which is the unforgettable experience, the best holiday that we want them to have on board our ships. This is our objective, is to make sure that they are having the best holidays ever. And this is kind of like deliver this with an emotional, with an emotion, with kind of like warmth and kindness. Then one key thing when we look at the consumer passion points is that, and I'm sure you have seen this, I mean, with all the launches, whether it's like products, campaigns, like private destinations, we always make sure that we are touching on the consumer passion points, what matters to our consumers or our guests. So this is like very much driven by travel, food, music, technology. So this is really kind of like what's. I mean, we do a lot of research, and we make sure that we are catering for our guests. We listen to our guests, and this is kind of like this is how we know what the consumer passion points are. And then we take all this and we deliver to our consumers, which is the seekers. So, like I mentioned, no matter what their age, they seek new adventures and they relish the chance to discover the world. And then this is when we come with the personality of the brand, which is bold, optimistic, welcoming, energetic, and imaginative, to reach the final bit of the brand pyramid, which is our brand purpose, is to inspire adventure and deliver the unexpected. And just moving to the next one, our fleet and our first. Like I mentioned, I mean, we do have, at the moment, we have 30 ships. The 30 ships are categorized across 7 different classes. Um, I'm sure you know all of this. But what I want to say is that every year we are looking to kind of like I would say not only deliver new ships, but we are also looking to amplify the ships that we do have already in our fleet. And the most recent one that we're having, which I'm sure you all know, is the amplification of Allure that started sailing this month. So so we have 7 classes: the Vision class, the Radiance class, the Voyager, Freedom, Quantum, Oasis, and the latest Icon class. So Icon class ship we have already announced. So we have Icon of the Seas already sailing, and we have already announced, of course, Star of the Seas that is arriving in 2025, and of course, Legend of the Seas in 2026. So like I mentioned before, I mean, one key thing here is that when we are either delivering or launching a new ship or amplifying one of our existing ships in the fleet, is actually how we kind of like bring something new to the industry. I mean, one thing that, or one of the many things that Royal Caribbean is very famous for is that we bring a lot of new experience to the industry. Um, and you don't have to look very far. I mean, if you look at, like, for example, like either like what we're delivering on board Icon, or like the Oasis class ships, or like any of the other ship classes, you will see a lot of new things that we are delivering on. And it's all like new experience, something that has never been done in the industry before. For example, like the Hideaway Infinity Pool, that's the first suspended swimming pool at sea. The Crown's Edge, the rock climbing wall, the promenade, the ice skating ring, the flow rider, the Central Park. So a lot of new things. And like I mentioned, it's not only coming to like only our like on board our newest ships, but this is something that you can also find in our other in the other classes. And also with the amplification, we are adding always new things to the ship that they are already existing in the fleet. So I mean, like I mentioned, Royal Caribbean is very much about like delivering and ensuring that we never settle with what we have. So we have been very active. So if you look at the last 7 years, we have been like delivering seven amazing ships across different classes. So 2019 Spectrum of the Seas, 2021 Odyssey of the Seas, 2022 Wonder of the Seas, 24 Icon of the Seas, 24 again, which was a massive year for us, Utopia of the Seas. Then 2025, we're going to be having Star of the Seas delivered this summer. And then the most anticipated 2026 Legend of the Seas, which she will be sailing in Europe next summer, which is amazing, amazing news for us. So let's talk a little bit about our brand guidelines. Like it is, how can I say, like, like as a marketeer, I have to say that Royal Caribbean is definitely one of the richest. When I say richest, it's not like marketing, market cap or anything, but I'm talking about kind of like the content, the visuals, the videos, the stories that the brand offers. It is, I would say, one of the richest brands out there. So when we are trying to kind of like talk about like the brand, all these things that we went through now, how we make sure that we put this in a way to deliver this message in a clear and consistent way to our customers, consumers, or guests. So we do have like brands always ensuring that we are updating our brand. We do have like guidelines to ensure that we have a consistent look and feel across all markets. And when I say consistent look and feel, it's not only kind of like either the logo or like it's also like the copy or the stories that we tell, or like kind of like the vibes that we bring to the our touch points or channels when we are communicating the brand. So this is really, really, really important. So like I mentioned, we always look to improve our look and feel. So one of the things that we started looking at, and this was back in September 2024, it started looking at kind of like our logo. So in 2024 September, we actually relaunched the Royal Caribbean logo. And just to put it in context, so the one on the left, if you remember, this was our old logo. But then again, like I mentioned, we are always trying to like to improve. I mean, things change, trends, they change. So what we try to do is always ensure that we stand out when we are using our logo or placing it on some material. So this is when we launched our new logo, and this is the logo, the one that it is with the crown and anchor and the Royal Caribbean copy underneath. This is the logo that we should be using, or I mean, should have been using since 2024, September 2024. Then again, like I mentioned, it's not only about the look and feel, it's not only about just placing the logo or just the colors or an image, it's very much about the tone of voice as well. Like I mentioned, as a brand, we do have a lot of stories to talk about. And what is really, really important is that we deliver on the content or the copy or the stories in a tone of voice that is consistent with the brand. So things that we are, which is as a brand, we are clever, we are conversational, we're friendly, adventurous, smart, and emotive. But again, we just need to be kind of like always be wary that we don't become like kind of like a funny or forced cool brand or overly familiar or extreme. So it's really, really important to understand what the brand stands for, and ensure that we are delivering the story in a way that it is in line with the brand tone of voice, and of course avoid anything that is like that is too much, or kind of like overreacting, or kind of like just being too funny, or being too extreme in the language we use. Then one key thing as well is that the visuals or the photography, this is really, really important. I mean, like I mentioned, we are a very, very, very rich brand when it comes to content, visuals, videos. But one key thing that we need to ensure is that we are capturing a moment. This is really what we want. So when we are like, remember when we were talking about like our target audience, the seekers, the adventure seekers, to appeal for them and to ensure that we are delivering this moment, what we need to do is to use images that is capturing a moment or something in action. So what we try to do so much is to avoid staged images. We're not about that. We're about kind of like key moments in the lives of our guests or customers. The other thing is that when we are showing a picture of one of our ships, it is very, very important that we show a picture that is kind of like is differentiating. We're not just another white generic ship, on the water. We are Royal Caribbean, and we need to kind of like show kind of like some features or some key features about our ships. Again, one key thing, of course, try to avoid, and this is very important, is to use like not to use images, of course, that show like captive wildlife or direct contact with any wildlife. Okay. Then we do have a lot of color families, or like a big family of colors, if I would say. And this is kind of, again, the most, or like the key reason for that is that we give you a lot of options for the colors, and kind of like a way to actually integrate these colors to any content. Because I mean, if you do have like an amazing picture, like with like very nice copy and headlines, it is really, really important to bring this to life with some of the colors that we have. But also we do have gradients, which actually we started using recently, and was very much driven by bringing icon to life. But again, we continued using these gradient colors across some of our material. And when we get these family of colors and we put it into action, you will see, for example, like the border colors that we have here around our material. But what is very, very important is that we use kind of like the sequence of the color of the family. So this is, again, I mean, you will see all this. We do have a brand guideline that explains all this. But again, what is the key thing to mention here, that it is not just a matter of just kind of like having rules. This is kind of like to ensure that we have a consistency for the look and feel, is actually getting our guests and customers used to seeing Royal Caribbean. I mean, when you keep on seeing the same thing, it's the same look and feel and the same style, you get very familiar with the brand. That after, like when you see the brand, when you don't have to look at the whole thing, when you see parts of the brand, even without the logo, you will be able to say, this is Royal Caribbean. One key thing as well I have to mention is that we don't mix colors from the family of colors that we have. So it's very important that we stick to one family color in one or in every asset that we create. And of course, the application or the execution of the style of the borders is very important as well. And then the other thing, which of course, which is the other element of the look and feel, are the fonts. So we do have two fonts as a brand. We do have the Capra, which we use is the one here that you have. You can see on the yellow background. This is the font that we do use for the headlines. And then we also have the Darwin. The Darwin is the font that we use for kind of like the copy or the sub headlines. Uh, I don't know if you can. I mean, what you can do, I believe we're gonna be sharing the deck afterwards. Yeah, but I mean, you can also scan this to download our guidelines where you will see all this material we went through, but you will also see a lot of other things as well. So, where can you, I mean, like I mentioned, I've been talking about assets, videos, images, and all that. So, how can you have access to all this? Okay, so this is really important. So, we do have really amazing portals and use like interfaces where we can actually have a library with everything that we have, whether it is videos, images, logos, fonts, uh, um, deck plans. So for you who are not familiar with our digital asset library, we do have a royalcaribbeancontent.com. But this is also can be accessible. So if you do have access to Espresso, you can actually access the asset library from Espresso from under like the menu under the marketing section, and you will have an automatic access to the digital asset library. But this is not only it. We also have, just to make sure that because we produce as a region, like the EMEA region, we produce a lot of material, like flyers, social media assets, infographics, more videos, images and stuff. So what we want to do is that we did want to like have like all these kind of like assets again for you in one place. And this is where we have our EMEA trade portal that is accessible. You can access this without having a login detail. And like I mentioned, it has a lot of material in addition to the digital asset library that we have as well. Then finally, what we do as well is that we do produce a lot of social media content. We understand and we know like social media is huge now, and it is one of the fastest way to actually reach your customers. So one thing that we have been doing for quite some time now is that we are always kind of like developing new social media material. And the social media material, what we do is actually we create content that it is very much focusing on different topics. So it's very much we do like things that are pushing destinations. It could be like a tactical social media post, or it could be something that is related to the product, whether it is a ship or a private destination. And what we do also is that we provide the copy or the caption for all these social media assets, so that if you are, I mean, posting something, you can use the asset and you can use the caption. You can always, of course, translate it in your own language, or you can choose to use it as is. And this is just an example of some of the things that we have been producing. And what you will see here is that what we try to do so much, because we are also kind of like conscious that I mean, a lot of you are using the content and maybe you don't want like English copy or supers on the video. So what we've been doing actually is trying to produce a lot of material kind of like without any supers or copy on screen. So we kind of like leave it as a clean version so that you can use it. Then you can add your own caption or like in your own language in the underneath the video. And just very quickly, I mean, we have been talking a lot about what the brand is offering, the brand look and feel. I just want to take you through the latest brand video that we did. So it's really a nice video. Just kind of like it encompasses all this that we have been talking about now. So I will just leave you with this video Uh, Let me just play it. And so put your volumes up and let's go. Amazing. Doesn't it look great? Cool. So this brings us to the end of the session today. Thank you so much. But before I let you go, I have here on the screen all the sessions that are coming. And just to remind you that in order to have a chance to win the prizes that we have, these are the sessions that you will have to attend. And again, like I mentioned, uh, there are a lot of things to learn about the brand. We have a fantastic team that's going to be doing all these sessions. So really, really interesting. So like I mentioned, it's not only about the prize, but it's also understanding more about the brand and getting to know Royal Caribbean more. And finally, we would love to hear from you. So this is the QR code. If you can scan, just scan it. Tell us what you think about the webinars. You know what's working well, what's not working well. So we'll be really, really happy to hear from you what you think about the webinars. Amazing. So thank you so much, everyone. It has been a pleasure to be here with you. And yeah, I mean, I wish so much want to see you on all the other sessions. And yeah, have a great day and we speak soon. Thank you.